Kevin, you told us that petty crime was part of your life at an early age.
Yes.
How did it escalate from there?
I was very good at gymnastics. Very good at it. I could walk on my hands, I could do all sorts of somersaults. And I could climb in through windows, very good. I could, very agile person. And so I became a burglar.
And each time you got caught, what was Mum and Dad's reaction?
Tears, beltings, fights, arguments, and arguments. And they were lost. I can remember my mother coming into the lounge one day and she had tears streaming down her face there, and she looked at me and she said to me, "Son, why do you do it?" And I can remember to this day her face. I can see it right now. And my mother was at her wit's end. She just was getting beaten up, kids, police trouble, no money, just nothing. And so again, cover up, hide and seek. And we weren't a family that discussed things. It just didn't happen. The damage was done. And it was just hurt and pain, and we're all looking for a way to get old enough to escape from home.
So how long did alcohol grip you?
Oh, well, I spent 5 years in a prison cell. And so it got worse and worse and worse. I drank in hotels with bikies and gang members, and always drank with people who were like me, nutters, idiots, people that were off their head, they were always the people I was comfortable with. But it was alcoholically drinking, I mean, we'd have parties where the whole side of the wall would be, be 30 dozen bottles of beer there, and that's how it was. I mean, I wasn't into going around, having having one glass of beer and going home just wasn't me. I got drunk, I got drunk every time, and I went where the alcohol was, If I couldn't get drunk, I wouldn't want to go there, because all the people I knew were like me, were drunks. And so that's just how it was. I'd steal for the stuff, go out and break into warehouses, steal alcohol, anything for alcohol, that's how it was. The pub was my church, and that's where I went for fellowship, companionship, and there's always plenty of people there to, have fellowship with my misery. Because the old pour me a drink. And it's kind of how it was.
Tell us about that.
Well, I was in a boys' detention centre in Levin, and one day I escaped with 3 other guys, stole a teacher's car, went on a crime spree, got caught, got taken back there. In that detention centre they had a security block where you had to stay there for 3 months. They put us in there, it was a cell block. I'd been there 2 weeks, and one day the guard came around to get our food dishes, and me and another prisoner who escaped with me, we jumped the guard, and I had a pair of leather bootlaces in my cell and put around his neck there and nearly strangled him to death. Had the man died, I would have been up on a murder charge. I was in many jails in New Zealand. I was in Paramoremo, near Plymouth, Waikeria, Napier, Mount Crawford, Invercargill, so I can remember every place I went into. And so it wasn't a blur. I can remember every sequence, every cell, every prison block, because when I was in the places, you just sit there and you've got nothing to do except look at your environment. So not a blur at all. I can remember every detail about the places. In 1981, I was discharged from a mental asylum in Auckland City, and I'd heard about my own brother who'd given his life to Jesus Christ, and he too had the same background to me. He'd been in prisons in New Zealand and Australia, and through his conversion it made me see there was a way out for me. And also over those years I'd heard about the good news of Jesus through Christians who came into the jails and would keep telling us about being born again.
So, Kevin, when you first became a Christian, what did the inmates think?
Oh, they laugh at you. They think, oh, you know, this is not going to work. You're going to be back in prison. You know, you're going to be back, you know, out there breaking into shops, you know, and stealing cars and getting off your face and fights in pubs, and you know. So they laugh at you, and because I've seen a lot of people try the Christian deal, you know, just to get out of prison or make things a bit more sweeter for them, and they don't last, you see, and they go back in again. And so for me, it was a big challenge. But I used to say to them, you know, that I'll be back up next Sunday and visit you and show you that I'm still free. Yeah. And that's what I'd do every week. I'd go back up into the prison and give a testimony. Yeah. Yeah. That's been 21 years now, so it's still working. Yeah. Still proving them wrong.
If you hadn't become a Christian, Kevin, do you think you would have been able to give up alcohol?
No, I'd have been like him in the park here. Yeah. Because to become a Christian meant I had to relate to straight people, nice, squeaky clean people who, you know, and I mean, I didn't have people like that in my life. I mean, I wasn't into being nice. I sat in hotels drinking with the mongrel mob, drinking with these gangsters in there out of gumboots and fully tattooed guys. I mean, it just wasn't my scene. I didn't know nobody that wasn't like me. And so and I really didn't think I could make it either, you know. And but God spoke to me and gave me a job to do. And I knew that I could tell my story. And I knew that all of a sudden the whole world opened up to me, you know. Yep.